Stardom 101. Stardom 101. Stardom 101.
Stardom 101.
It's the Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast.
Shining light on today's tastemakers
and innovators.
Kicking with your host, Christopher Boykin.
It's the Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast.
Once again, it's Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast here back on iHeartRadio. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another special episode for you today. Kimmy Oooh is in the buildings. How you doing, Kimmy? How you feeling today?
I am doing great, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic as always. For the listeners meeting you for the first time, Kimmy, who are you? Can you give them a brief summary of who you are beyond the bio? Of course, you come with a lot of accolades as well. We're going to plug some of the stuff that you've been involved in and the music that you got coming up. But for the new listeners, if you can introduce yourself and kind of let them know what you do for a profession and kind of your experience.
Okay. My name is Kimmy Oooh. I am a singer, a published singer, songwriter, rapper, and poetess from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've been writing my entire life. I started taking rap seriously in my early 20s. Of course, I got married, had children, did the family thing. And now I'm back at it. I'm divorced now. 2 of my kids are up in age. I have an 8-year-old, and now I'm back at it. I do work in healthcare full time. I've been doing that for the last 10 years. And, I just keep it moving.
There you
That's
go. That's what's up. Now, you were born and raised in Milwaukee, as you just alluded to, and then you spent over a decade in Minneapolis. How did those two cities kind of shape your sound and your storytelling ability?
Ooh, well, when I went to Minneapolis, I moved to Minneapolis after I got out of the AIT training for the Army Reserve, and so I was there all by myself. I am a diehard Prince fan, so it was just a pleasure to be in the city. It just grew me into the person I am. Living on your own and experiencing a new city all by yourself. It was just a lot to absorb, and I learned so much and had a lot of life experience there.
Nice. You describe yourself as an observer of the world. I like that. When did you realize that observation was like, that was turning into songwriting? You took that experience, you took that skill set, and you turn it into your songwriting, you challenge it into your songwriting ability.
I was about 19 or 20 years old. I've always been a music head, and I was hanging with 2 other friends that were also poets and writers at the time. And we were listening to the radio, and then all of a sudden, Vanity 6 Nasty Girl came on. And I was just writing a poem at the time, and something just told me to start spitting to it. And I just started spitting what I had on the paper to that.
Nice.
To that melody. And my first song, Nasty, it came from that. So it
Wow.
has the Vanity 6 beat.
That's what's up. Your
Yes.
debut single, Little Things, I want to talk about that, your history. That made serious noise. It was Sony's Next to Rise song. It was BET Awards on BET Awards weekend. It was a top hit, Hitmaker rankings as well. Did you expect this kind of response so early, like from that song?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm a newbie. I did not, but I knew it had a message that really like no one else was highlighting on. Our men get a bad, some deserved, but our men get a really bad a rep around here. And I just wanted to, I've had glimmers of goodness from men, and I just wanted to highlight that in a song about the ability to turn your brain off, because that's so important for everyone to do, but especially us women that wear so many hats.
That's what's up. Right now, you're promoting your upcoming song, Imagine Love. I want to talk about that right now. And upcoming EP, by the way, too. What Imagine Love represent emotionally for you? Is this a personal song? Is this something from experience? What does this song represent for you?
All my songs are personal. They come from what I went through or what I've seen or heard throughout my life. Imagine love is just um, holding on to love
Mm-hmm.
and imagining, everybody has an imagination about what they think love is and what it's supposed to feel like. And
Mm.
song is just an expression of, a person that you just don't want to let go of. You just want to hold on to them and love them and
Mm-hmm.
cherish them but sometimes you just have to let people go and you still hold on to, that love and that admiration that you had for them.
Absolutely. You're open about it's one of the things you're very vulnerable and open with and transparent with people about your strengths and your weaknesses, which I think a lot of artists don't even do that. You know what I mean? They kind of hold stuff in and they don't want you to know the full scope of themselves. But for you, what's one personal challenge that actually made you better as a songwriter, that you went through? Was it trials and tribulations? Was it these life's thing? You know what I mean? Like what makes you how did that make you better, you know?
I went through a lot of grief in my life.
I see.
I went through a lot of grief in losing people to death and then losing people that are still alive,
Wow.
in relationships. So, and I also went through a divorce. And at the same time that I went through my divorce, I lost my grandmother, which was my everything.
Oh
So
my
it was just
goodness.
really, grief
Mm.
is a mother.
Oh,
And
yes, it is.
I experienced, a lot of grief and one day I was like, I just was sitting at my desk because I work from home remotely,
Mhm.
and I was sitting at my desk and asking God, like, "Is this it to my life? Am I just gonna be at this computer all day? Like,
Mm.
is this it?"
Mhm.
And he was like, God, like, was like, "Do what you do best."
Okay.
And I was like, "Okay," and I just started writing again.
Went
I
back to the
always
gift.
always kept a journal, but, I
Mhm.
just really started being intentional about writing songs and trying to express feelings to paper.
Nice. And you said and speaking of songs, you said one of your goals is to open hearts, which I really think that says a testament of who you are as a person. Has music ever kind of healed you in a moment in a way that you didn't expect? I know you're trying to open the hearts, but has music actually healed you? Maybe a
All my
song,
life,
maybe okay, good, good.
all my life,
Okay,
all of Prince's albums,
I see. Mhm.
when I was going through my grief, I listened to a lot of Nina Simone, I listened to a lot of Whitney Houston. I went back to all the old school music, Isley Brothers,
Mm.
Martin Gaye. I needed to hear, like, those love songs
There you
where,
go. Mhm.
relationships meant something
Oh,
and
yeah.
people just interacting, it meant something. So I went back to those songs to help me heal, and you talking about on repeat.
Okay. That's what's
So,
up. Okay.
and then from that just came, open my heart again,
That's what's
open my
up.
own heart chakra again, even not only that, but my throat chakra as well.
Nice, nice. And in quotations, I like this quote that you reference most. You said, our hope is everyone's hope. Keep it moving." You actually plugged it earlier in the episode.
Right.
What do you hope people feel after hearing your music for the first time?
I hope people are excited. I hope they have hope for themselves. I hope it excites them to get up and do more for themselves,
Mhm.
and try to be more intentional with everything, their family, their friends, work, more time for themselves. Like you gotta fall in love with yourself at every stage in life. It's
Mm.
hard. Yeah. So I hope that my music inspires people to activate, to move, and to fall in love with themselves again.
That's perfect segue. Kimmy, final question for you. Tell everyone where they can get the music, where they can follow you, and stay tapped into what you got going on next.
Okay, well, I am working on my own personal website right now where I'll be able to funnel my music through that. But right now, you can find my music on YouTube at Kimmy Oooh. It's my name, Kimmy, three O's and the letter H. Also on SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify, all the major music platforms. You can find my songs on there.
There you go, Kimmy. We thank you so much for tapping into Stardom once again on the Rise segment featuring you. Ladies and gentlemen, all of her social media platforms and channels and links will be in the show notes of this episode, so don't worry about that. Make sure y'all support the single. Make sure y'all support the EP. Make sure y'all stay tuned and tapped in for the website as she launches that. Be on the lookout for her as she does more and more in the music world. The Stardom101 Magazine is iHeartRadio. We'll be back next week, same place, different episode. We love you guys. Peace.
Are you on the rise to stardom? Well, get featured in the next issue of Stardom101 Magazine and promote your business or products today. Text MAG to 804-550-8647 or visit stardom101mag.net.
You're listening to the Stardom101 Magazine Podcast with Christopher Boykin. Be sure to subscribe and download this episode, and continue to listen to Stardom on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.